Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how much I believe you require in 𝗗𝗗 to be able to retire. That's give up work and sail off into the sunset, right? We're not talking about being able to live like an absolute millionaire. We're just talking about how much you would require to be able to retire in Cardano 𝗗𝗗 based on some pretty interesting price predictions. Let's get to it. Let's go. Okay, so it is pre-record, but I do want to have a look at the market and have a look at Cardano in particular. So we're at 77 cent 09 at the moment, and yeah, look, we're up 94.29% in the past 12 months. And there's lots of price predictions out there talking about what amount of Cardano 𝗗𝗗 you need in order to retire. But I wanted to look at how much it would require in order to retire, but live off of staking rewards and still keep your Cardano 𝗗𝗗. So bear with me because I'm going to do all the data, all the number crunching, and then I'm going to help people kind of get a bit of a gauge on how much they need, right? Because everybody's going to be different. There isn't one answer that will fit everybody. I'm not a financial advisor. Treat this purely as entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your research. Never invest more than you're willing to lose. Because crypto is risky and you do risk losing all of your money. So yeah, let's get straight to it. So we've got the Cardano price prediction article here. How much 𝗗𝗗 will you need to retire by 2027 as experts tip Cardano 𝗗𝗗 to blast through $2. So they're talking about $2 𝗗𝗗 price prediction in this article. So we'll take that number, we'll put it in a bucket, and we'll talk about it in a moment. Moving on, we'll move on to the next article. We'll just load it up. It's like it failed to load. This is the trouble. The cables in the sea, so the sea cables near the UAE have been cut, and that means the internet is ultra slow. So let's let that one refresh. We'll move on whilst we're waiting for that to refresh, and we'll look at a different article, right? So we've got how many 𝗗𝗗 do you need to retire rich, ? Cardano's millionaire math. So again, this just gives you an idea, right? About how much they believe you're going to need in order to be able to retire. So if Cardano 𝗗𝗗 hits $6 according to this article, you would need around 168,000 𝗗𝗗 tokens to be able to retire rich according to this article. $92,000 at today's prices. Or if it reaches $8, you would need around 126,000 𝗗𝗗. That would be enough according to this article. So again, just really interesting stuff, really interesting math, but ultimately, does the math really stack up? We're going to come on to that in a moment, so stick with me. I do think that this is a very interesting video and something that a lot of people should pay attention to and do some math around. Before we get into the video any further, I do want to mention that we do run the cheeky crypto stake pool. The ticker is CHEEK, CHEEK, and it's been returning across the lifetime of the pool 3.21% return. So we're going to keep that number in mind and come back to it in a moment. Now, Cardano with pool has got this phenomenal calculator, if I can get my words out, where you put in the targets and it gives you an idea, right? So we know that, what was it, 3.6, let's have a look, 3.6%, I think it was lifetime, wasn't it? 3.21 is what we've been producing. Now, the way stake pool operations work is they are, how can I put it? They are like a lottery. Like every epoch is different, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, right? But the lifetime is the important aspect you want to be looking at. So let's say Cardano 𝗗𝗗 only gets to $1. You want an income. Let's just be more realistic. Let's say you need $25,000 as your income every year. You need to be, to be able to retire, you need $25,000. That means you would need 778,816 𝗗𝗗 in order to get your rewards of 25,000 𝗗𝗗 per year. Now let's say Cardano ADA goes to $2. You'll need 389,408 ADA in order to be able to retire. That would get you 12,500 ADA in your annual returns from staking. Now, if you wanted to, let's say we get to $3, which is lower than its previous all-time high, you would only need 259,595 ADA, and that would return you 8,333 ADA annually, right? So that's all you would need to earn 25,000 annually if the price stayed at $3. Now, let's talk about $5, right? If we got to $5, you just need 155,763 ADA, and that would produce 5,000 ADA in rewards, which would be $25,000. Let's go to $7. So this is my top price prediction for this bull run. You would need 111,246 ADA, returning 3,571 ADA per year, $25,000 per year, based on our lifetime Cardano ADA pools returns. Now, people do talk about $10, right? If it gets to $10, you just need 77,882, returning 2,500 ADA, which would be 25,000 for the year. And the other really popular price target is $15 per ADA. Now that would mean that you would need 51,931 ADA, and that would return 1,667 ADA for the year. So don't forget, there's real value in staking your Cardano ADA, and you can stake your ADA with the Cheek pool, Cheeky Cryptos run stake pool. And like I say, you now know roughly how much you need in order to be able to retire if you only needed $25,000 a year to retire, right? These are all just, it's just maths, right? So it's not to say that everybody just needs $25,000. You might need 12,000, 15,000, 50,000, and all the numbers change off the back of that. But it gives you a good sort of gauge, an idea of how much ADA you need in order to be able to retire and be able to live as if you've still got all that money coming in through your job, for example. So this gives you a good idea of how much is required. What I would say is some of these price predictions are realistic. Some perhaps are not so realistic, particularly not for this bull run, but maybe for future bull runs. Now, I'm not suggesting that it's going to hit any of these prices. I'm just giving you some examples. That's all they are, nothing more. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your research and see whether you agree, disagree. Let us know in the comments your thoughts and opinions. But what I would add is you've got a lot of upgrades, right? DeFi is going to be much better, in my opinion. They're putting money into stablecoins, definitely going to help. You've got the bridge to Bitcoin, access to over $2 trillion worth of liquidity that's just sat in Bitcoin doing nothing. You've got the scaling solution. You've got the midnight compliant privacy layer, which can usher in businesses, banks, healthcare, list goes on. And not only that, a spot ETF could be a catalyst to see some of these price predictions mentioned in today's videos become a reality. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.